So Errol Spence Jr. on his Instagram states that he promises that everybody will get their turn. If you go back a while, I think a month ago, he was on video. I forgot the outlet who was interviewing him. He said he's not gonna leave 147 until he fights Terence Crawford and Manny Pacquiao. Now, I guess the only way that he would leave, I guess, is if either of those dudes, after a while, don't want to fight him. So, he's not gonna hang around, I guess, looking for them to fight, I suppose, and he have to just move on up to 154. But he said this. Now, I know a lot of people, even me, I was a little upset when Terence Crawford showed up to the Errol Spence versus Danny Garcia fight, and he didn't bring up Terence Crawford's name. But then, when I sat down and I realized that, man, these guys are just playing psychological games. This is if you just gotta just look at things with a third eye, and you'll see that they're setting the stage for the fight. It's clear. This goes back. This I think this is all planned. This goes back to when Terence Crawford pulled up on Errol Spence. I believe he flew to where he was at. Forgot where they were at. They met up, and they had that whole back and forth about fighting each other. That was setting the stage for what's to come, and I believe that's what they've been doing. They've been going back and forth slightly. You haven't heard, yeah, you won't hear them talking about each other. Then you'll start hearing them ramp it up again, and then you don't hear them talking about it again. I think what they're doing is they know that the anticipation for the fight is real, and they're trying to pull in more fans, trying to get more enthusiasm, more people eager to see it, more anxious. Then now after the Danny Garcia fight, you're gonna start seeing it ramp up more. Now that we're going into the end of the year, um, Bud just beat Kell Brook, Errol Spence just beat Danny Garcia. They're out the way. Manny Pacquiao still in the mix. They both want to fight Pacquiao, but it's looking like Pacquiao is gonna fight Errol Spence, and I'll probably touch on that in another video. But it looks like that might be happening. Um, but yeah, a lot of people don't believe that this fight is gonna happen just because of the simple fact you don't see Bud. You see what the stuff Bud was saying about he not really worrying about the fight no more, and then Errol talking about he's not really worrying about Bud. But then you see what I just said, right? Look at look at this avatar, this thumbnail that you see, and then here comes Errol again. He promises that everybody's gonna get the fight, that everybody's gonna get their turn. One minute he's saying everybody's gonna get their turn. Then he's saying he hopes Bud not worrying about the fight. Then he says he's not leaving the division. Then Bud says he's not worrying about Errol. Then Bud all of a sudden shows up at Errol's fight. They're playing psychological games, I think, with the fans, I believe. So they're trying to get everybody riled up and build more and more momentum. So, and another thing, while I guess Errol ain't really getting too deep into like too in depth with the fight, is he knows Bob Arum, like he knows Terence Crawford is still under the top rank, and we already know. I think it's going to be hard to. You heard what I said this in my other previous video. You see what you see what Arum already said about Bud. He not putting no more money into Bud, so I think more than likely, hopefully, I don't know yet, but we'll see. I believe Bud's contract is expiring in October of 21, so if Bud doesn't re-sign with Top Rank, I think that's gonna lead to the Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford fight coming up soon. Now, this is how I think it's gonna go. It's gonna go like this. This all counts on if Bud doesn't re-sign with Top Rank. I see, like you said, Errol says coming back in the summer, so he's gonna have a little layoff in the spring. And I think he wants to get himself ready and primed up for Manny Pacquiao, because I know even though he did good with Danny, Errol wasn't himself all the way. And I saw the fight. I seen it. He was a little inaccurate. He was a little rusty, but he was still there. He was still the same Errol, but with a little bit of understandable rust, and other things. So he's probably gonna fight Pacquiao next, probably coming up in the summer. And then I believe the next fight will be Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence. Probably look for that fight like around November or December, or probably January, February of 22. So that's what I think is gonna happen. I'm very optimistic on this one. So I think everybody should just calm down, relax, cause just pay attention. Look what they've been saying. Like the back and forth, both of them, not just Errol. They both doing it. They both. Bud says he doesn't need Errol. He not really. He's tired of worrying about the fight. Then he shows up at Errol's fight. Errol says he's not. He hopes Terence. He's not even worrying about it no more. But then first he said that he was gonna fight Bud. He not leaving the division when I'm fighting Bud and Pacquiao. Then he says he's not really worrying about it. And now he's tweeting that they're all gonna get. He promises they're gonna get their turn. So that's telling me he knows something that the rest of us don't know. They probably all do. Like I said, this is boxing. This is business. So what we might think is more than meets the eye. We probably don't see everything that's going on behind the curtains. So I think it's more going on right now. I think the fight is already set up. I think it's already coming. They know it, but they want people to have that doubt, that anticipation. It's kind of like the way the Wilder. I kind of see this fight was more is gonna happen more. So I always said that than the Wilder and AJ fight, because you never really heard Wilder and AJ really saying, okay, yeah, I'm gonna fight him. Then I ain't worrying about it no more. Yeah, let's fight. You don't see them showing up in each other fights like that, all type of stuff. So I always knew that this Bud fight was happening. At first, early on, I was a little skeptical, but then when you put the pieces together and you see what they've been doing, what they've been saying and stuff, you like, yeah, they're trying to garner more support. I mean, they already got the support for the fight, but I think they wanted to be really mega, and that's why they put in Pacquiao when they were Errol. But you know what should have been dope? I think Bud should have fought Pacquiao first, but I already think I know why. I think I know why, man. I'm gonna talk about the Manny and Errol fight in another video. But that would have been dope if Bud could have got the belt off of Pacquiao. So Bud would have had 2 belts, Errol would have had 2 straps. So then they probably could have said, okay, now we're going to negotiate. Now we could probably go in there 50-50. I still don't think Bud deserves 50-50. I still think Errol fought more credible competition than Bud did at 147. So I think maybe a little bit closer. I'll say maybe 60-40. Yeah, I say 60-40 is still good. Because 50-50 would be no. That's just I don't believe 60-40 is good enough. I think 60-40 is good. 60 in Errol's favor, and then 40 for Bud. And then they're gonna get more than that anyway with other stuff, man. Add-ons and other shit. So stay tuned, man. I think that fight is coming, man. Just hold your horse. I know a lot of y'all are doubting that it's coming, but I think it is. Go back and look, and then piece everything together yourself, and then you'll figure it all out. Leading up to now, you'll see how right I am about it. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.